Julius Randle shut down Victor Wembanyama in the fourth quarter of last night's Timberwolves win over the Spurs. And after the game, I thought to myself, there is no way that Julius Randle is going to hold Victor Wembanyama scoreless for the fourth quarter. And Victor Wembanyama did have some points, but he had no field goals. So I decided to take a look and see what happened. And when I looked at the film, it was worse than I thought. I thought he might have got away with a few fouls. And of course, he was playing very physical. But when I looked through the clips, every time Victor tried to catch the ball or did catch the ball, Julius Randle fouled him. And I don't have the clips because of for copyright reasons, but we're going to look through the still frames, and the still frames are quite revealing. So let's go ahead and start with the end of the third quarter. And by the way, the Timberwolves started the defense against Victor with primarily Rudy Gobert as the defender. In the third quarter, it became Naz Reid, and then they closed with Julius Randle. And when they closed with Julius Randle, he fouled him throughout. So at the end of the third quarter is where this really picks up. And here we're at 19 minutes and 19.5 seconds left in the third quarter. We can see here that we have Julius Randle pushing against Victor Wembanyama in the post. And so I'm going to move to the next still frame. Here he is grabbing Victor Wembanyama's jersey. And this is still at the end of the third quarter. And then we continue and we see him extending his forearm into Victor and pushing him. And what he's done is he's pushed Victor essentially 4 feet out. So what you'll notice, and this is common, is Victor establishes position and then Julius Randle is able to just push him out 5, 7, 10 feet from where he starts. So he's dislodging Victor. And throughout these still frames, we're going to see him grabbing him. We're going to see him pushing him, shoving him. He's dislodging him. I mean, every way possible that he can foul him, he's doing so. And so here he's pushed out Victor. Let's keep on going. And then now we've moved to the fourth quarter, and this is 7 minutes, 15 seconds in. We've got the forearm, and he's going to extend that forearm. He does this frequently, and he's debasing Victor by doing this. He's pushing him out. And so here we see him directly against Victor, and he's going to extend that forearm. And then so during this play, he actually chased Victor, and multiple times. Here we can see his hands on Victor, and Victor is, what is this, 27 feet out from the basket on the corner. And so we've got Julius Randle again with his hands on him. And this is constant. Julius Randle is guiding him. He's pushing him. And here we see in this play, it comes back. And so Victor Wembanyama is here. We have the forearm out, and this is about 20 feet from the basket. And then this is actually still the same play. Victor is now towards the corner of the three-point line on the baseline. And here we have Julius Randle shoving him in the back. And then again, we have Julius Randle with his hands all over him in the back. Victor Wembanyama is right at the corner of the baseline. And then here we have Victor Wembanyama on the floor. And then a telltale sign, we have Julius Randle with his arms pulled back away from Victor. And this is because he pushed him out of bounds. Now the crowd erupted as if this was some magnificent defensive stand. But Julius Randle hounded him, but he hounded him while fouling him the whole way through. And it culminated in Victor being out of bounds on the floor. And the Spurs don't really complain about fouls, but even Victor looked up at the referee who's standing right there looking at this and was just like, are you not going to call anything? I mean, he just shoved him out of bounds. And there's a reason why Victor could never get established. And that's because Julius Randle had his hands on him the whole time. Let's see here. So yeah, this is another clip from this sequence. This is not in the exact order, but I wanted to include this because here we see Julius Randle's hand on Victor's back again. So he's shoving him in the back. So this is pressure. This is pushing Victor off balance. This is guiding him away from the basket. Now, Victor's offense, he has had problems with getting towards the basket. And sometimes we see him sometimes we see him just drifting out because of the resistance from the defense. This is not that. This is Victor getting fouled. There's no way he's going to get to the basket if Julius Randle is going to have his hands on him throughout the offensive possession. And so here that's what you see is Julius Randle has his hands on him, even on his back, even at the 3-point line. He's able to get away with this continuously, and the referees are just letting it go. And so at this point, Mitch Johnson has to step up. I know he's learning on the job, but you have to make sure that the referees do not just let Julius Randle go unabated, just whatever he wants on defense, he gets away with. And I like the fact that the Spurs aren't constantly complaining about fouls, but this is absurd. Like a line was crossed. The line was definitely crossed in the fourth quarter of this Timberwolves game. And of course, you're not going to catch every foul. When you're going for position, sometimes there's a balance between what's a foul and what's not. Sometimes the defense gets away with being more aggressive. Others not. Victor is fine with physical play. You can see that he really doesn't complain that much. But this is to the point where it's like, what would Victor? How would Victor ever score? It's like if you just continuously push him the whole time, it'd be impossible for him to even get close to the basket, and that's what's happening. He could never get close to the basket because he was always being pushed. So it was a foul the whole time. Mitch Johnson has to step up, and then let's see what the next frame is. Yeah, so we see again, Julius Randle's hands are on him again. This is out past the 3 point line, right towards the baseline. This is a foul. I mean, it's just you can watch the clips. I'll include the timestamps in the description. But this is a foul. He fouled him throughout this possession. And then here again, we have the hands pulled back as if like, no, I'm showing my hands, like my hands aren't on him. And this is at the point where you can see Victor Wembanyama is falling out of bounds, and he actually lands out of bounds because he was pushed out of bounds. So this is another play. Let's go ahead, and we have in the very corner here, we have Julius Randle already has his hands on Victor Wembanyama, and Victor Wembanyama is trying to get Julius Randle off of him. And so again, here on the same possession, we have Julius Randle riding Victor Wembanyama and really shoving him with his shoulder. And then so here again, we have him pushing Victor right in the back. And notice the position here. Victor is about, I don't know, let's say 3 feet below the free throw line. But we have Julius Randle pushing him out. And then note the distance Victor travels. So right here, this next frame I have, Victor's already about 3 feet away from where he started. And again, you have Julius Randle on him, and he's pushing him. And then look at this. I mean, look again. Victor is now almost at the 3 point line. Julius Randle has pushed him, shoved him another 3.5 feet before Victor can ever catch the ball. This cannot be allowed. And as I was putting together these slides, I was thinking, imagine if this was Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic goes the other way. If you do anything to him, he is going to complain about it. He is nonstop. He is incessant. You cannot touch him without there being a foul. If there's any slight contact, he's going to fall down. He's going to do something. He'll be complaining throughout. He complains when he doesn't get fouled. And that's not what the Spurs want. The Spurs don't want to get fouls that they're not. Victor especially. Victor's not trying to get fouls that he's not. That he didn't complain throughout this. He really, if you watch the fourth quarter, he didn't really complain. This is not the Spurs style to go and try and go the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander route, the Jalen Brunson route. Especially, I think Luka is the worst at it. But that's not what's happening. But on the other side of this Victor Wembanyama, there's no way he could score if Julius Randle is going to be allowed to push, shove, grab him, displace him every time he does anything. Here you can see that he's been shoved out 7 or 8 feet already. He's trying to post up at the 3 point line. And by the way, it's not only Julius Randle that's doing it, but this game was especially bad. I started to look at the clips, and as I went through them, it was worse than I thought. I thought that it was physical play. Julius Randle likely got away with, like, let's say 2 or 3, maybe 4 fouls. He got away with fouls throughout the fourth quarter. And here he is pushing out Victor. So let's go to the next frame. And then now look at where Victor ends up. Victor's now posting up. As ridiculous as this is, Victor's now posting up outside of the 3 point line. And even at that, Julius Randle is still shoving him, is still pushing him out for a position. I mean, this just tells you right here, this is a foul. It's continuously a foul. And if you just go watch the clips, if you have access to League Pass, just go watch the clips. You can see it. It's as clear as day. It's not me just showing you still frames. No, this is actually what happened. Julius Randle fouled him continuously. Here again, I mean, look at this. Victor's not initiating this contact. This is all Julius Randle. And here he is right up against him, shoving him. He's got no space to operate. This is a foul. And then so here, I've got this next still frame because now that the play has let up, Stephon Castle passed to Julian Champagnie, but we still see Julius Randle with a hand on Victor. Okay, so I think this is another play. Yeah, I think this is another possession. Here we have Julius Randle. This might either be the same position. Let's see. No, I think this is the next possession. We have Julius Randle again with his arm shoved into Victor. And what happens a lot when he shoves his arm into Victor's back, all you have to do is watch him, and then he extends that arm out. So again, he is pushing Victor. And keep in mind, he already has the leverage advantage because, of course, everyone's shorter than Victor. So they're able to debase him and get under him. And Julius Randle, being a stronger player, a burly player, especially, is able to ride out Victor and push him out of position. But he's allowed to get away with this, so it makes it so much more difficult for Victor to do anything, because not only do you have a player with the leverage underneath, the ability to get under Victor, but then you have a player who's able to shove and push and grab and get away with everything. Let's see. So I think this is Yeah, this is on the same possession. And so here we see that Victor has now moved out of the free throw line extended, and now he has passed the 3-point line. And again, we have Julius Randle pushing him. And I know in this picture, it just looks like he's got his hand on him, but he's been pushing him throughout. This is how Victor goes from the free throw line to the 3-pointers. He's being pushed. Let's see here. So is this the same? Yeah, this looks like the same play again. Victor being pushed by Julius Randle. Again, look, I mean, look here. You've got his elbow in your back. He's not allowing Victor to do anything. Like Victor can't move. Victor can't run. Like there's no Victor can't get in any position. This is not Victor Wembanyama's fault. This is a foul throughout. Again, imagine if this was Luka Doncic. Just imagine if that was the case. But I don't even know if Julius. I think he maybe got one foul in the fourth quarter. Let's see here. So this is another continuation of the screenshot. And then so let's see here. This is the same play, and then here Victor runs for the rebound, and Julius Randle goes right into him, and again is all over him. And to be fair, like with some screenshots, right? Like it's easy to make everything when you have a screenshot, it's easy to make something look like someone's pushing him. But these screenshots are illustrative of what was happening throughout. And I hope throughout all of these screenshots that I'm showing, there's like a very common pattern, and they're backed up by the video. Okay, so now we're finally on another play, and here we've got this is actually not Julius Randle. Julius Randle, it looks like he's guarding Keldon Johnson on the corner of the three. But what we have here is I think it's Jaden McDaniel. He's guarding Victor and he's grabbing Victor, and so you can see right here he's grabbing Victor. Now a foul on this play was eventually called, but it wasn't actually the foul was called. Where there wasn't really a foul, or if there was, it was marginal contact. But before the foul was called, you had Victor being held. And by the way, that foul that was called, it was overturned. So I think it ended up being Timberwolves' ball. But here you can see that Victor Wembanyama is being fouled before that. So here's another play where you have Rudy Gobert. He throws a forearm shiver into Victor's chest. And then behind him, what you'll notice is Julius Randle shoving him once again with his forearm. Julius Randle uses his forearm a lot. So what's happening here is I think Julius Randle held him on this play. Then he's pushing him. And then you have Rudy Gobert shoving Victor as he's coming across the lane. And this gets worse when we look at the next still frame. So here again, we've got Julius pushing Victor from the back, and then Rudy Gobert pushing him as he's coming across the lane. And what's surprising, I suppose surprising is the right word. Rudy Gobert complained after this foul was called. And so if we see here next, it looks like Rudy's throwing a karate chop into his chest. And then again, Julius Randle from behind is shoving him with his forearm into his lower back. And then so we've got one more still frame. And again, I mean, this continues. I mean, we got Julius Randle shoving him, and then Rudy Gobert very much hitting him. And Rudy Gobert complained about this call. Even the Timberwolves announcers recognized this, and they were like, yeah, that's a forearm shiver, they said on this telecast. So here we've got another still shot, another different play. And we've got Julius Randle caught with his arms extended, pushing Victor Wembanyama. And then again, I kept going because he continues to push him. And Victor starts out right along where you line up for the free throws. He was like at the second hash, third hash. And then Julius Randle just shoved him until he was at the three-pointer. Yeah, so you can see here. I mean, Victor's not going here on his own. This is because he's being shoved. And you can see Julius Randle has his forearm extended. So here we've got another play. Let's see, where is Victor? Victor's right here at the free throw line. We've got Julius Randle all over him from behind, and Julius Randle is actually grabbing him. So this is a very similar still shot. Again, we have Julius Randle grabbing Victor Wembanyama. And then let's pay attention. He's at the free throw line right now. He's actually got 1 foot below the free throw line. Let's see where he ends up. Let's see if this is a different play. No, yeah, this is the same play. So I don't know. I'm not sure if this was the, let's see, 155.7. Yeah, so this is the same play. Now we have Victor with the ball. We have Julius Randle really leveraging against Victor, shoving Victor. And then here we can see shoving him again. Look at the forearm. Look at the forearm right in the lower back. Look at where Victor is. He's right below the free throw line. He's actually got 1 foot, about 1.5 feet in from the free throw line. And then look now where he is. He's got 1 foot at the free throw line and another foot about 2 feet behind the line. He's been shoved back. And then also notice Julius Randle's hand is on Victor Wembanyama's hip. So he's putting pressure. He's guiding him away. And this is how you're able to redirect a player and also push them off balance. Look again where that hand is. Again, he's got his hand on really his lower back, right on the side of his the side of his rib cage. And so he is pushing him. He's got his hand. He's redirecting him, pushing him off balance. This is a foul. So here you can see Victor's going up for the shot. He's starting to go back, and Julius Randle has effectively dislodged him. He's pushing him back. He's still got his hand on him. That is a foul. That is a foul every time. All right, so here we've got another play at 1 minute in, and Victor's running, and you can see here his progress is impeded because Julius Randle has his hand on his arm. Another foul. And then so here we can see Victor being held up. Victor, you can see like Victor's reacting to his hand being on him, and Julius Randle's still all over him. I mean, he was able to get away with this the whole fourth quarter. And then here we have Victor runs past him, and we have Julius Randle shoving him in the back. Again, I wanted to show this because you can see his arms extended. I mean, some of this was like, it wasn't even hidden. In this case, it especially wasn't hidden because you have two hands. You have two hands in the back. You have Victor turning around. This is as he's getting past him, and you have Julius Randle shoving him away. Again, continues on. This is so you can see. I had more still frames so you could see this wasn't just like a one-time thing. This was ongoing, and so he's able to get away with shoving Victor Wembanyama in the back. Here again, extended, arms extended. It continues. So he had his hands on him the whole time. So Victor can't get position. He can't make progress. He can't move anywhere. He's getting fouled the entire time. All right, so we've got another play. Julius Randle. Victor's at the three-point line. This is not even post up. Like Victor's not. This is not at the hash on one of the sides of the where you line up for the free throws. This is at the three-point line, and Victor is being guided away. He is not letting Victor get anywhere close, and this is a foul. This is not good defense. This is not physical defense. This is a foul every time. Victor's at the three-point line. He can't go below it. And another person we've seen like this, with Alex Caruso and what he's been able to accomplish against Nikola Jokic. Same with Victor when he's matched up against Victor. These guys, Alex Caruso, fine defender. Julius Randle, I don't know his reputation as a defender enough. Watching him, maybe he's a decent defender, right? But how good are you if you're not able to constantly put your hands on someone? I think Alex Caruso is very tactical about when he grabs, when he holds your arm, when he pushes you out. And so we've seen him have a level of success against two of the biggest offensive stars in the league. But how is he able to have this success, especially whereas other players are not? It's because he's fouling them. He is a good defender, but he is still fouling these guys. He's able to get away with it. And in this game, in the fourth quarter, and at the end of the third, we see Julius Randle able to get away with continuously fouling Victor. Here he is, not letting him even go past the three-point line. And this is where Mitch Johnson needs to be all over the referees. You cannot allow Julius Randle to impede Victor's progress no matter what he tries to do. So here again, you see his arms are extended. He has his hands on Victor. Victor is not even inside of the three-point line. This guy already has both of his hands on Victor's chest. Still, as Victor's trying to go, he's impeding his progress. Foul every time. Let's see here. We've got Victor right on the let's say just below the free throw line on the side. We've got Julius Randle with his hands on him, and we continue on. Julius Randle still has his hands on him, and that was one play. Here's another one. We've got an out of bounds. We've got Julius Randle shoving Victor Wembanyama off the post. Here his hands are on Victor. And when you see Victor's hands go up, he's not the one that's creating this contact. He's not the one that's initiating anything. This is all Julius Randle. If Victor is moving his hands out, it's because he's trying to get Julius Randle off of him. And so here you see that. You see Julius Randle with his hands all over Victor, and Victor's lifting his arm up to try to get him off of him. So then you have Julius Randle that is digging into Victor's side, and then you can see he's really hooking Victor here with his arm. And again, this is on the post. This is at the low block. And so here you see Julius Randle putting his forearm into Victor's side, and he's pushing him. And here, even more so, right? So now he's taking a stance. He's getting lower. Victor's trying to get position, and you have Julius Randle with his entire forearm into Victor's stomach. And then here, just an outright push, face guard, whatever you want to call it. But you've got Julius Randle with both hands on Victor. And let's continue on. Again, forearms extended. I mean, and this happens a lot. When you watch the clips, you can see Julius Randle with his arms extended. Anytime the arms extend, you know that's a foul because that's a push, right? He's not trying to stand his position. And Victor is able to get no position because he's constantly pushing him, debasing him, guiding him away. Here we still see Julius Randle's hands, his arms on Victor. It's a foul. It's a foul every time. So here we have another play. This was the final play of the game. We've got Julius Randle holding Victor as Victor goes up and tries to get in the play. And let's actually go back. I skipped too far. So we've got Julius Randle. Let's see. Yeah, so here we go. Back to this. We've got Julius Randle holding on to Victor. Holding on to Victor again. We can see it right here. Look where Victor is. He's just below the free throw line, and let's see what happens. Here's another still shot. I got it's not as clear because the player was grayed out, but like you can see here, Julius Randle grabbing Victor, also shoving Victor. Where's he going to end up? Okay, look where he ends up. How did Victor end up there? He got pushed. He got shoved. So here we see Victor's now looking to catch the ball above the free throw line because you can see again, we've got Julius Randle's arms, we've got his hands in Victor's back. So here it is again, right? Arms extended into Victor's back. Victor's looking to catch the ball. Let's see if he gets shoved out further. He does. Look where he ends up now. He ends up at the top of the key. So above the free throw line, just below the 3-point line. And Julius Randle still has his hands on him as Victor starts to turn and face. So he is all over him, and Victor gets no space because he's been pushed the whole time. Now he's been pushed out, let's say 5 feet from where he started. Here we have Julius Randle digging into position. Again, he's still touching Victor. Victor gets no space. It's a foul. And now we see Julius Randle, his arms are on him. Like you're not going to be able to score if a player is going to be able to grab you, hold you, touch you, push you away, and guide you away the whole time. Victor cannot get position because he is constantly being fouled. And then so here we see this again, and I think that this is the last clip I have. I mean, this was bad. I mean, this is how the Timberwolves won the game. Yes, the Spurs had other problems. The Spurs had 2 19-point leads, and so that's also a problem. But that's on the side, right? First, you have to address what needs to be addressed is the fact that Victor Wembanyama cannot establish position anywhere because players are allowed to foul him. Now, it's usually not this bad, but we have seen this many other times before because teams know you can't let Victor get close to the basket. Well, that sometimes you cannot stop that from happening without fouling him. And so he is being fouled. And so Mitch Johnson needs to step up and make sure the league knows and make sure the referees are well aware what's happening when Victor suddenly can't get within 10 to 15 feet of the basket. It's for a reason. The players can't impede his progress the way they are. The players can't push him away and debase him the way they are. The players can't grab him as they are. And Victor's not complaining a lot about it. I just like when players are constantly complaining. Luka Doncic being example 1A, but there has to be something where Victor's not allowed to be fouled continuously like this. The Timberwolves won this game specifically because Victor Wembanyama was fouled the entire fourth quarter. And it's a real problem, and Victor Wembanyama is not able to be the player that he is if he's continuously fouled. So it has to stop. This game, Julius Randle got away with it, and the Timberwolves got away with it. They came away with the win because they were able to get away with fouling. But there has to be a point where the league doesn't require you to habitually complain like Luka Doncic, and it has to recognize when players are getting fouled. And the reason I knew something was amiss, the reason why I had to look into the clips was because Julius Randle's not going to shut down Victor Wembanyama. Neither is Alex Caruso, right? I've looked into Alex Caruso previously, and we've just taken a few clips where he's guarding Jokic, and you can see he's fouling him, right? Alex Caruso can't guard Nikola Jokic. Can he make it more difficult? Can he play physical with him? Right? Yes, he can make him potentially less efficient. But when you ask yourself, well, how is it that Alex Caruso is able to guard Nikola Jokic? It's because he's fouling him. Same when he guards Victor Wembanyama. How is he able to guard Victor Wembanyama? He's fouling him. And how is Julius Randle able to shut down Victor Wembanyama? He's fouling him. So you have to recognize that at some point, it's like, how is it that Julius Randle has figured out how to guard Victor Wembanyama? He hasn't. The referees are allowing this. And on one play, I mean, he straight up pushed him out of bounds. And it just didn't end with him pushing him out of bounds. He was riding him the whole time. And this is not in the post. Keep that in mind. This is not in the post. This is out towards the 3-point line. This is out 20 feet out, 15 feet out. Julius Randle has his hands on him and is pushing him. So I think, the league should be looking at this. The referees need to be aware of this. And Mitch Johnson needs to make sure that he is on the referees and informing them that this is how Julius Randle is keeping Victor Wembanyama out of the paint. It's not through solid box outs. It's through fouls. It's through pushing him away. Victor is constantly off balance. So it's like, okay, well, why is he missing these jump shots? Well, because someone's got a hand in his back, right? That's going to make you miss. And so it's not even that subtle. Sometimes it is. Sometimes there's more of an art form to this. But here it wasn't. It was very obvious with Julius Randle. Alex Caruso, not as obvious, but he's still fairly obvious if you just watch him enough. Like you can see, he starts out by holding, he lets go, he comes back, he grabs again, he goes ahead and pushes underneath the base. So with Jokic, for example, he'll go in, even though Jokic is heavier, obviously Caruso's shorter, so he's able to get underneath him. And we've seen him grab him. We've seen him pull his arm away. We see him grab his arm. So any number of tactics. He's more strategic about how he does it than you would see in this fourth quarter. And I really, if you're interested in this all, I really recommend watching the clips because you can see it just continuously. He was fouled throughout the fourth quarter. This was especially bad, and so the Spurs need to make sure that this isn't the case because this is holding the Spurs back. Now, Victor Wembanyama I have criticized Victor for not getting closer to the basket, and sometimes it's not a matter of him being fouled. Sometimes, in fact, a lot of times it's been Victor going ahead and accepting that the defense is walling him off and then going ahead and drifting out. And so he's not meeting that resistance. Other times he has met the resistance, but then sometimes he'll go ahead and just go with what the defense is giving him. So he'll just move out to the 3-point line. But this was him being fouled. There's nothing he can do about this. This isn't Victor needing to be more physical or needing to impose his will. This is within the game of basketball. These are all fouls. Julius Randle should have fouled out of the fourth quarter because he was continuously fouling Victor Wembanyama. So this is a real problem. It is something to watch. It is something to draw attention to because the Timberwolves got away with stealing a basketball game, and they did it because they were fouling Victor Wembanyama continuously. And I think it was somewhat. I think there might have been some. I think this was somewhat clever because they started off with Rudy Gobert, and I didn't happen to notice anything near resembling what we saw from Julius Randle. I think Rudy Gobert played him fairly straight up. Same with Naz Reid. I mean, I don't expect every foul to be called, right? It's sometimes there are going to be fouls. Sometimes there's physical play. Sometimes it's close whether something is a foul or not. That's not what I'm talking about here. The reason why I'm covering this specifically is because this was egregious. It was throughout the fourth quarter. I knew something was awry, and I didn't know it was to this extent. So this is very bad, and so attention needs to be drawn to this because Victor Wembanyama should not be held against him that he's being fouled the whole time. And one other point I'll end with is that Victor has a different frame, right? He is very tall, he is slender, he's strong, but despite his strength, he's still 7'5". So because every opponent is going to be shorter than him, every opponent is going to be able to get underneath him. And if you can get underneath someone, it's going to cause them to lose balance. So Victor is going to lose balance, and there's always going to be that. So he's got to come lower to try to meet that. And it's very difficult. And that's just a situation that exists, right? Like he's always going to have players that are shorter than him. Obviously, he's got many more advantages, but what can't happen is you can't couple the ability to get underneath Victor with the ability to foul him without any consequence. And so that's what happened with Julius Randle. Julius Randle being already burly, very strong, able to get underneath Victor, and then also able to have his hands on him the whole time, able to push him before he catches the ball, able to push him after he catches the ball. This was especially bad. So this needs to have more attention. Multiple times I incorrectly refer to the sideline as the baseline.